Okay. It is an Ember.
Ariel.
No. It has 2 power.
What is her name? Gazelle.
No. It has 3 willpower. I think the game has started.
Yeah. Yeah, we're guessing cards here. They didn't play a bell. What's it matter? We got a broom. Leave us alone, lady.
Yeah, we better get to it. But yeah, so we were just like guessing cards like this while like on the road. Super chill. But yeah,
We
now we
minimize
have.
chat a little bit, producer. Thank you. Yeah, no popsicles at all. Playing a shield on turn 1, not a fantastic start for Zan. Do you think there's going to be a Scrooge or a Flaversham?
At this point, we are on turn 3 with 3 ink. We
About to
could
be
be
4.
playing like a lot of items, but we're
Oh,
yeah.
ink a Scrooge, play a Scrooge. Yeah, I feel Zan's like most people playing these Sapphire Steel decks. He without having, well, I mean they did have an item on turn 1, and they played that. So like playing your shield here kind of signifies that you don't want to use that ink later when you're playing a Flaversham. You don't need it for ink. I'm pretty sure it's inkable. It's kind of hard to tell with the foil there, but pretty sure it's inkable. So at
Yeah,
that point, yeah, it is. He's definitely playing a Scrooge or a Flaversham on curve. I actually think if he had played anything rather than those two, then his hand is really bad. I didn't catch how many cards he altered, but I would assume he altered a lot and just whiffed. Ruby Amethyst. I guess I should have noticed the thing in the top corner, but I was not expecting to see that. So what do you think they're going to be doing next turn on 4? Just a rabbit and nothing, or what?
Well, you want to have all enough resources to deal with what Sapphire still has to offer, and kind of eliminate possible value engine. So IRAM, you want to have a brawl for it and deal with it as soon as possible.
And we did see a brawl get inked on that turn to play the Sisu. So he's definitely trying to be aggressive. It seems unlikely that Jose is going to foolishly allow the Sisu to get beaten down.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering the broom, why it was not banished to draw a card.
So either Jose is getting some stage fright,
No, no, no. I see why.
or setting up here with the crab play. As well as it could have been that Jose was valuing the one lore higher, but since they played the crab, the one lore is not as relevant. And by one lore, I meant being able to quest with the Cusco in extra time. But obviously, it was just so the crab could take out a Scrooge here.
The good
Which,
switch and bait trick, right?
yep. And it sets up that if Flaversham quests, like there's a world that crab gets to hit it, or crab quests and then bounces pumping the Sisu, or even just the Sisu alone just takes out the Flaversham. There's like 1,000 cards in Zan's hand, and most of his actions draw more cards.
Have a Fortisphere. Probably trying to set up something for future turns. So we continue to ramp. We want to get ahead of the be prepared turn where everything could shift and put that as much thing on the board. I think that would be my guess. What do you think?
Yeah, it's an interesting dance. This is the B prep deck. But Zan has Pete's. So if he can just draw 1,000 cards and then play a Pete followed by Pete, he probably wins the game. So Jose kind of has to like prevent that from happening, and a hard cast Zeus to try to keep this Flaversham alive. Let's see if Jose has the Fox to just counter that gameplay, which honestly could be what Zan wants. If Zan has more card draw, doesn't necessarily care, has another Flaversham, boxing this here, it's taking a lot of tempo away from Jose, and that's just giving Zan more turns. Especially if Zan can create a scenario to force Jose to be prep. So Jose has nothing in play, and then Zan can just redevelop a 6-drop crab and a Pete in the same turn, and then maybe next turn quest, drop a dime, drop Tamatoa, activate it, gain a bunch. Jose counters with another B prep. Zan readies, plays a crab, activates dime, and then just wins the game over 2 turns of Jose answering every threat. But Zan has to get to that position to prevent Jose from just aggressively questing and then being like, goat bounce oops.
We could see the setup you're talking about with another IRAM right now. So it's like you're foreseeing the future, right?
And so like Zan's the one forcing that future. I feel like a lot of his plays are leaning towards this. I think if you see his farthest left 2 cards, I think are 2 dimes. And so it very well could be a position that he's just going to try to sneak those in and then just play a card, activate until the game's over. And if Jose doesn't answer the threat that he's like activating dimes on, then he gets to quest with it and dime again and just like go to town.
So a good position to go from there would be like Happy Tamatoa and Pete next turn. Quest with Tamatoa, put the lucky dime, and if you have another turn on top of that, you can quest again with Happy Tam and get a second lucky dime. That would be like next level plays.
Zan has twice as much ink as Jose. Oh no, Jose has 5.
Yeah.
That's so much. How does he? So Zan was on the play and he sailed twice. That's so much ramp, or Tipo sail maybe. It's just so disheartening to play against the Sapphire decks when you're trying to 1-for-1 and they're playing ramp into 3-for-1 style cards. It just gets, it's very disheartening, but that's what happens when you play a fair deck. You play against a deck that just goes really high and over. You just can't deal with it, right? And to counteract that is to quest quickly, which Ruby Sapphire can do, and that's why it normally is favored against Ruby Sapphire. I think I said Amethyst Ruby can go under and beat down the Ruby Sapphire deck traditionally, but this Steel archetype has more targeted early removal, and now that they have Scrooges and Bells, they can brawl with the brawl deck pretty easily.
And one of the thing, it is the same as other card games. We're talking about the fair decks against the unfair decks, and what we want, what we mean by that is the fair deck is there to play cards with the cost each turn, rarely using ways to cheapen the cost or play for free, while the unfair deck is like any cost reduction I can get to play more and more, I will get them. And the best way to counteract this is to remove all those value engine cards and all the cards by themselves are not doing so much, might I say.
Oh yeah. But Jose only has 2 cards in hand. Without seeing a rabbit or any other bounce and having to kind of sacrifice our broom to do stuff, and Cusco hasn't gotten away. Like Cusco's just a little spell book that draws a card when it's banished. Zan isn't under too much pressure. I mean, his rep in it, Zanin going up to 12/13. Basically 13 if he got to quest. Oh, but Zan's gonna try to probably close this game in 2 turns. I think Jose's gonna have to pull the trigger on a B prep. And while that's good, Crab's already basically drawn 2 cards. It is a 6-cost threat that draws 2 cards. That is
Yeah.
Titan power level.
One thing I'm wondering here is why playing the Pete on the turn before when Be Prepared couldn't have been played instead of now
Brawl.
this turn.
I think he has an abundance of crab style threats, but he didn't have another Flaversham. So he wanted to make sure that Flaversham would be able to quest to draw cards, and felt that this next turn, if he played Pete here, the Pete would just be stopping a B prep from hitting the already exerted Flaversham, which should be able to be taken down by the characters already in play. And so doing this guarantees the extra draw to make it so when forcing Jose to kind of use all of his stuff to wipe the board, he still has a grip of like 6 cards to rebalance after it. I think it was the game plan he's going for. Oh,
I like that.
That's good and bad for Jose. I mean, we get to eat something and draw a card, and there's a world that library doesn't get answered. We get to refill our hand, and if Zan doesn't have a Pete to stop a B prep next turn, he's in a good spot. But if Zan goes Pete and then plays the big Tamatoa, which he has 10 ink right now, so he needs 11 to do it, he'd be able to do that. And then the next turn have double dime I think he would win the game on the spot if he plays Pete and Big Crab here.
So interestingly, we have Goat questing, Mana Mim returning Goat to hand, upgrading Jose to a 11 lore, putting the Fox into the library for an insurance.
Yeah, it's
I'm
kind of
wondering.
interesting to see what Zan does here.
Yeah,
Do we
people
get a
are
free
digging for
Scrooge?
cards.
We get still 2 more popsicles in Zan's hand, it looks like.
So if we go with the plan of using items to draw cards, putting like Scrooges if we have them, it means that we have the perfect hand to answer almost anything post Be Prepared. Is that better than advancing our own questing plan as it is right now?
I don't know. Zan's hand, maybe he doesn't have an abundance of crab things. I do see a Pete.
I see 2 dimes. I see let the storm rage on. 2 dimes.
A fishbone. Well, here comes a dime. Oh.
So I see kind of an hesitation from Zan to. Okay.
I think he's making sure he can do all the things that he wants to do.
That is fair.
But are we not drawing cards with Flaversham? I would assume we would do that first.
Unless the card you really want
Hades
to
as
play
well.
is the dime that is on board right now.
I feel like we have to play Pete, right? Question mark. Maybe we don't. Maybe he
Maybe
just
we don't.
doesn't care. He's like, if you B prep and then do whatever, I have Hades on Hades. Maybe that's just the whatever. Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay. He just doesn't respect the B prep.
Oh, is it really necessary to respect the B prep? If you have
Oh,
a lot in your hand.
he has to have a big crab in his hand somehow. I didn't see it, but I just do not understand not drawing the cards from Flaversham if he didn't have a big crab.
Even then, crab plus 2 dime and 3 items is like crab is at 6. 6 times 2, 9. Okay, I kind of understand now.
I don't
Keeping
I don't
okay, keeping all the items as they are at right now is 6 items. Plus the one lore peep from Tamatoa, it's 7. So 2 times 7, 14, plus the 7 already there, we're at 21.
Yeah, I'm just if he didn't have the crab, I don't like this play. Is what I meant.
Yeah, I'm
But
trying.
he has exactly enough ink to play big crab and activate twice. And now it looks like I see a normal or a medium crab in hand. It's hard to say. We definitely saw the Hades there again. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Quite the stressful shuffling for someone who's got this game.
Yeah, that makes me wonder. Like we don't see like the hands perfectly, so we go from the information we have on board and our knowledge of the game.
13, location and play. We got things. Jose has to be feeling amazing and terrified at the same time. It's like you would think you'd be good, but double dime. Like, that's just random
Oh,
characters and activating twice. Oh, well, he had, but it kind of looked like he just drew that. It did look like he just drew that, which would be absurd, but I'm just going to assume that he didn't and he already had it based 1,000% based on the fact that he didn't draw cards off of Flaversham. Like I said, like it only makes sense to me if he didn't have it. So I'm assuming that that was in his hand, and since it's foil, I thought it was a Hades, and he only had one, and I thought maybe he had two.
yeah, that makes me wonder if I had to interview Zan afterwards, I would be like, did you draw the big Tamatoa at that moment, or did you have that card already in hand? Wow. That is quite the game.
Quite the game indeed. But I keep seeing the star, like the game win, and I see green and steel. I'm just like, but Zan's not playing Emerald Steel.
You're not alone. You're not alone.
Too
I
good.
gotta think twice about this. But no,
So,
yeah, go for
what
it.
do you think Amethyst Ruby needs to do to win this game?
It needs to deal on point with the threats they can answer. Like, IRAM needs to be dealt with as soon as they enter to deny any future card draw. The what other options do they have? If they can't deal with uh, what their opponent has on board, they need to manage their resources in a way that they are not losing cards.
All right.
This is what I
I just
believe.
I just really want Jose to play turn 1 fairy ship, so Terrace has to give away his house. I think
Thing.
it might have been from the mainstream, but he had promised to give away his house if he saw if fairy ship was on stream. He did not specify which stream.
Um,
Oh, disappointment. Just a Diablo. Just a good one drop that always gets you a card. Seeing a crab inked is probably a pretty dang good feel for Jose. And if he doesn't feel good seeing it, he should. It could also be worrisome, meaning that what cards does he have in his hand that like he wants to keep? It looks like he has bells in his hand, which it could be worth keeping here. You don't want to get beaten down by these one drops. And we're inking the bell. Did we draw 1 of 8 cantrips to be able to play a different bell from our hand? No, we did not. This is not what Zan wants to be doing. Over a sixth of his deck is cantrip items, and he did not hit one on the mulligan. Unlucky.
yeah, well, you have those moments and you have to be prepared for them. Yeah, the play on the words is uncanny there.
Amazing. If only Jose had the maximum punish. Ugh, that's not what you want. He wants a character that can go sideways. He really needed another one drop on turn 2. I mean, obviously, this is a not terrible situation, and Zan can't just like Zeus the big threat another crab away. But like that is gonna 2-tap the library. Might be too slow, but
Yeah.
it is one of the better ways that Zan can answer that. And maybe it'll be a challenge and a Zeus.
Well, would you spend a then came along Zeus on top of a Scrooge McDuck challenge onto the library? Oh my gosh.
Oh, play fairy ship. Play fairy ship. I I almost think you might have to challenge the Diablo that's not on a library.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm confused. There's like okay, the one with the thingy is
Tokens
the one.
are yeah, I think that's what it is. So since he has another, yeah, I definitely think the right play is challenging the Diablo. We have enough in play to take down a library next turn. Obviously, Jose's probably going to fox that away to prevent his library from being taken out. But in general, it is Jose needed another threat on 2 and needed a Sisu on 3. Needed a 2 lore threat.
Mhm.
Especially Sisu that trades with Donald, forcing Donald to like sing a Zeus. Like imagine if we played Sisu on 3 and then on turn 4 we played Library, moved Sisu to it. Like that's what we want to be doing. And instead we're just like, okay, we'll gain a lore. We'll gain a lore. But it could be enough if Jose has Goats of Galore and bouncing could get into the range, and it could force Zan to overcommit characters to counter the characters that Jose's committing, and then maybe a B prep takes it, and then like library survives a turn or two. That's like the dream, but it's gonna be rough. And I mean, we're just drawing cards right now. This is that's desperate,
Oh,
but
a challenge. Oh,
we're
okay. So,
valuing.
hmm,
Yeah, we valued the extra card over 1 lore, and that's not great.
yeah, I wonder why. Like that makes me question the intent here because when you are pressuring your opponent, you want to keep pressuring as much as possible, right?
Yeah. A little surprised. I feel moving the goat is a sign that there is bounce in hand. It's not great, and it's just unfortunate for Jose. They just needed to draw a little bit more aggressively there. There's just a few things he could have drawn a little bit better, like that Chernabog that he just inked would have been great on turn 2 with the Diablo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
So again, we don't know what is in Jose's hand, so mm, could be a lot of uninkables. Could be like be prepared
yep.
galore in there. And
And I think you're right based on the just throwing the Diablo away to draw cards.
so if Zan is catching up on that, it might be a good read into the possible moves Jose can make there. And when you're getting sniffed out like this, it is really dangerous for you.
Oof.
Mm.
Didn't matter what you did, Jose. They were all getting got. So this is just like shows how Scrooge is better than Ariel in some ways. Yes, he costs one more, but you can cheat him out sometimes. And I would average that he gets cheated out probably 30% of the time. Especially in the mid to late game where you just have those items, right? So that's going to bump those numbers. Where Ariel, you can sometimes ramp, but I don't think it's ever coming down on turn 2 unless you have a Pluto. And then
Are you talking? Which RL are you talking about?
the Singer 5.
Oh, okay,
So
gotcha.
the aerial that looks at the top 5 and you grab a song, or look at the top 4 and you grab a song, put it in your hand, and Scrooge have a very similar ability. Both decks play around 18 to 22 items to maximize its value. And then the difference is that Scrooge costs more but can be cheated. And like, how many games have you played of Amber Steel where you just like couldn't take something out, but Scrooge can? Like right here, Scrooge trades with Fox. Ariel doesn't. So it's just like a pretty good value there from the Scrooge itself. So it's already filtering, it's beating down locations, it's beating down opposing characters. Like there is a reason why it spiked up. People just didn't respect it. Too many people just didn't realize, like, look at it and look at Ariel and be like, oh, it's the same thing, except it's a legendary and it's in the set where we're pushing items kind of right now, so it's just like absurd. The power level of it right now feels like how good Ariel was in set, better than set 1, like how good Ariel was in set like 3, or when you got Rage and Storm from set 2 as well. Like,
Oh yeah, we had a lot of stuff from that set. World's Greatest Criminal Mind was also in chapter 2. So I believe Scrooge and Ariel are really similar, and they will grow in time as more value options you have in the game.
yep. And it's crazy that Ariel is at its basically all-time cheapest right now. Thanks, Boomy, for popularizing versions of Steel Song without Ariel, but they still play A Whole New World. And thanks to Candio for just popularizing a version that doesn't even play A Whole New World. You're making my investments fantastic. I actually don't invest in Ariels at the moment. I might have one foil. I do need to acquire 3 more.
I do have one foil, and like I'm saying to whoever wants to hear it, my foils, I don't play them. I trade them away whenever it's convenient. So,
Yeah,
uh,
Belle and Scrooge just taking out the location, just whatever Jose's playing tries to getting down. Jose does have 4 cards, and Zan doesn't have anything yet. Let's see how much he can spam into the board this turn.
do we see like 2 dimes in Zan's
At
hand?
least one.
Yeah, one. Then came along the
I
Zeus,
think the
probably
Zeus.
IRAM. So when you can get
Is
a card from just the slight angled view of it, you know you're good.
like, the card sees a lot of play. Yeah, I got to
Yeah,
get the rabbit out. Can't have that just be drawing all the cards. And we were saying like Zan doesn't have anything, but like over the course of these 2 turns, Zan's board is going to be insane. And the power of Flaversham is he gets to commit more to the board and not really lose on hand because he's drawing 2 extra cards a turn, basically.
Hmm. Uh, we're probably getting. Oh, not be prepared.
We bursting.
Oh, Brawl. Okay, so that's good. We played IRAM on Zan's side and Brawl to respond immediately, stopping the value engine. So that's what we want from Jose's side. And
Yep.
goat in there means we're accruing the lore count slowly but surely.
Oh yeah. So we'll see if Zan just keeps answering every character. It is a Hades, and that might be worth. You're not really doing much else. You're just kind of stopping Jose from doing what he's doing while slowly gaining lore. You have 4 lore in play. It's like a respectable enough board. Um, if he doesn't be prepped but doesn't do anything, you can just easily commit a dime to play. And if he does do something, you try to answer it. And he's just drawing cards. So
Hard
there's like a
play.
chance that Zan gets another turn to just build.
Yeah, hard playing friends on the other side is. I have the assumption that it is always bad.
So if Friends is okay as a 3-cost inkable song, should we have an uninkable action that draws 2 cards? Or do you
Well,
think that's too good?
well, if we say there's a song at 3 that draws you 2 cards, if you want to make it cheaper, you gotta make it like less playable in other ways, like uninkable could be a way, or like if making your opponents draw cards. There's a card in the new set making you and the opponent draw 3 cards for 2 only. So that is
I
wild.
want that card to be good, but I think it's too much of a downside currently. Eventually, that card is going to do stupid things. It's enchanted's going to jump from like $30 to like 300 for like 2 weeks, and then either the deck's going to be a flash in the pan and the cards will all plummet, or it'll be like a new meta and the card will kind of retain its value. But anything as powerful as draw 3 cards is like really good. Like think of a world that they're using it as a way to find a whole new world. So they're like, yeah, let's each draw 3 cards. Okay, let's each draw 3 cards. Okay, sing whole new world, get rid of your card advantage you had and do it. Like in possibly Amethyst Steel Mill.
Oh,
Maybe
with
far-fetched.
Jafar?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Jafar with more tools, that's what we want. But in play right now, we have like Sisu challenging 80s, doing quite a good job. And we
When you
haven't
see
remained.
Sisu challenging instead of questing when we're at 14, we could have gone to 16 and then had our opponent still had a Hades. But I guess we're trying to get the library to stick around, and that should kind of make up for the extra lore gain.
Yeah. And if you want to deny the lore gain from Sisu, you need to challenge it or expand cards. So I
Yeah,
kind of see why.
I think Jose has this game now. It was looking a little rocky, but 2 lore threats. And
Yes
there's
and
all
no.
the removal he needed.
Yes and no, that remains to be seen because Scrooge McDuck in play with the Tamatoa, it means that we are building board pressure and we are building card draw, so nothing is truly lost there for Zan, I believe.
So I think, unless Jose's out of cards. Oh no, never mind. I was thinking that he still had another goat in hand, but maybe I'm just like seeing the future, and that's the top card of the deck. Oh well, that might be enough if we get a Zeus. Although we don't. Yeah, I mean, we can't answer both characters.
So we have at least 2 dime. That doesn't seem to have
Trade.
a song. Okay, but at the very least, we are building quite a board to maybe deal with the library or Lady Tremaine next turn.
I mean, they kind of have to answer everything.
Oh yeah, at this point, you gotta draw, and you gotta find those answers to survive. And we have a Maui.
That's not what they wanted to draw, but at the same time, it's not like terrible. Um, but
It,
it's also terrible.
yeah, it. You gotta ensure the Maui, and but then again, you have enough power on board to deal with the library, so they can't have card draw. So the best play here would be to challenge into the library, song onto the Lady Tremaine, and having a Maui do nothing. And that is what Jose is fearing the most, or should be fearing.
Yeah, like the Maui doesn't get a trade with anything, so yeah, it's just not going to draw the card it needs to.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that is another good point. Maui does not trade.
Oh,
That's it. That's what you want.
well, so Jose just needs to do what all of my Ruby Amethyst players always did, which was top deck rabbit into snake into rabbit again, or goat and then pass, or probably rabbit, draw again, and the next turn goat bounce.
Okay, we promise, chat. We are not. We do not know about the future. Okay.
Well, you just gotta be one with the rabbits. This way,
Yep.
even if it's answered, you get to draw another card. And the broom's not a terrible card to play, but it's going to get most likely eaten up by a storm, unless Zan has somehow inked them all. They don't really have many other targets. There's a Zeus, so the rabbit's days are gone. But I don't see a storm in there. Possible that we go after the broom instead of the rabbit, but that seems really greedy. Yeah.
I wonder what is great there, because we are at a point that anything can make a player win.
This game is insanely close.
Yes, even though
But
Jose is at 17 and Zan at 7, do not trust the points as they are right now.
Zan also has a crab in hand.
Oh, the big
questing
time.
because of yep, he has a big crab in hand, one dime in play, one in hand, so that lets us crab, activate dime, next turn dime win. Most likely. Or just we're playing another dime and then the next turn crab double dime win. He just has to prevent Jose from winning. Oh, I mean, that's good and bad. That's really frustrating for Jose because
Oh.
he didn't get a draw card from the broom. And a diamond play and that much lore, it is possible that he could have played a couple items and gone off, but we're going to see that kind of happen now. You activated my trap card. You playing your own card. He's summoning a place so strong, it made my stream cut out.
Hmm. I see Zan is kind of playing with his ink in a way to say, okay, playing for a certain amount. Okay, happy Tam.
So if it survives, it puts a dime into play. Tamatoa comes into play, puts 2 dimes, wins. Or we're just hard casting this time. We don't need it to come into play. We're just winning the game next turn. You're just in an illusion that you got something. That is not what Jose wants to be seeing. He wanted to go goat bounce, but I guess he still has the ink for it. Does he have the goat? Oh, well, I do believe that is game. Yep. Unfortunate for Jose, a
Oh,
goat there probably would have won it if he had the bounce.
well, that was a formidable win for Stan.